that time of the year again. That time when we look forward to getting ourselves and our cars dirty. Welcome then to the 4th iteration of the mega Carwale Off-Road Day, where we round up our favorite 4x4 and all-wheel drive SUVs in one big playground and test them with our unique testing parameters. Now before I introduce you to the cars, let's talk about the tests. Now these tests, they're scientific, they're a lot of data and not to mention a lot of fun. Now it's these tests that make the Carwale Off-Road Day stand out. Now talking about these tests will be the guy who's conducting them, Vikrant Singh.
Thanks Abhishek, and I apologize for my voice, I just have a really bad throat. Like Abhishek said, these tests make Carwale Off-Road Day special, and these tests, you can consider them as building blocks of what you're going to do when you go and do some serious off-roading, go on trails, etc. Slalom. Now, it tells you about the maneuverability of the SUV. The size matters, how the steering responds, the throttle, and how the four-wheel drive system works. 50-50 split might not work as well as an intelligent system with split stop. So these kind of things help. Then we've had acceleration and braking in the past. This year we're combining them. So we've got a 0-40-0. The idea is that if you've got a really short space but you need momentum to go up a hill, then you need really good traction in dirt, so that it can accelerate and give you that, and that's what, having a test like that. As for braking, you go around a trail, around the corner, and there's a log in the middle of the road.
Stop.
Yeah, you have to stop on there. So these are tests that tell you that what it's going to do. But we've introduced one extra this year. That's why we're calling this Gymkhana. It's not exactly the Gymkhana as you might imagine.
Not the Ken Block Gymkhana.
Yeah, so no over-the-edge slides and all of that, but we've got some articulation, we've got some dust flying around. And what the Gymkhana does is it combines all the tests that we've done and it gives a better idea of how the SUVs do. So individually these SUVs might have done better in one and not in the other, but overall it all comes together to give us that Gymkhana. So it is an exciting thing to look at.
Now that already sounds like an exciting session lined up ahead. But there's one thing that Vikrant forgot to mention about, and that's a very exciting test that got 2 of our members almost wet. But you need to stay tuned till the end of the video to find out what that is. Now let's go take a look at the cars. Now let's start with the big daddy of off-roaders, the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Now the Jeep Wrangler, it's been around for a while now, but Jeep made a significant change with the Wrangler last year. They started manufacturing it here in India. So this year is the Made in India Jeep Wrangler. Powering the Wrangler is a 2-liter petrol engine that makes a very impressive 268 bhp and 400 Newton meters of torque. Gearbox duties are handled by an 8-speed automatic transmission. Also, as expected, the Wrangler Rubicon is loaded with 4x4 hardware like the rock-track full-time 4-wheel drive system, locking front and rear differentials, and an electronic sway bar disconnect as well. All this apart from the insane approach and departure angles.
The Jeep Wrangler, the big daddy of off-roading. There's nothing, I think, when it comes to off-roading capability, the car, the SUV, the Wrangler clearly outshines a driver, especially when it comes to me. So that, when it comes to serious off-roading, I mean, it just does stuff for you. However, in the Gymkhana, we don't know how it's going to do. We've selected 4H Auto, and that should give it some amount of smartness and where to send the power. So I think maneuverability is something that could work, because otherwise it's a big car, and I haven't driven the Wrangler enough, so I don't really know how wide it is, and I just hope that I don't end up clipping cones, because I don't know where the wheels land. But given the tires, given the ride height, everything, I think this is one of those SUVs that you can just go for it and not really worry about anything. So I think that's what we're going to try and do and see how it does. All right, let's just roll up to the start line. Okay. Go. All right. So you're just not worried about the stones, you're just not worried about what the surface is, you just absolutely go for it. It's just the size of the thing that might be a little. 2, 3, 4, 5 and go. All right, he'll hold. Lovely. So just try and see if we can get it to go in one go. Yeah, this is the only car that's actually gone through that in one. Wow, that's brilliant. All right, here we go, flat out through this section, can't feel anything. And now this is the articulation thing, but here again, don't have to stop for anything. And this time, hopefully I'm not missing the shortcut. Nope, I don't think I am. All right, lots of articulation again needed. Again, this is, nothing touches, it just goes. I am shocked at its safety. Of course, you can see the clearance, but still. Alright, did I clip a cone? Oh, just missed. Thank God for that. Otherwise, yeah. Brilliant. Don't think you need to stop for anything with this car. It's not like it's uncomfortable. Now the fast section. Yeah, it's not like it's uncomfortable. And this petrol, oh my God. What power. Yeah. Alright. Off we go. Oh, missed it. Ow! Missed just the braking a little, just got carried away. But I think, it is extremely capable when it comes to difficult off-roading. But here too, unbelievable. Comfortable, goes through everything like nothing matters. Wow, outstanding. Seriously, I think it should probably clock a really, really quick time. Let's see how that goes. But it's awesome. We're doing the slalom first because it just gets us all warmed up. Now we've chosen a pretty tight slalom, especially for a car this size. So let's see how that goes. And Wrangler's steering isn't the quickest, so I think there's going to be some amount of workout involved. Now let's see how fast we can go around the slalom on dirt on the Wrangler. 2, 3, go. All right. All right. Okay, this is a lot of work. This is just too much steering input involved, and I think I missed this. It's too reversing twice, but it's a very tight slalom. But let's see. Maybe others would be, but yeah. See the amount of steering I have to work, and plus it's bumpy, so it's just a lot of work that has to do. Wow! This has to be, it's just too much workout, but it's a big car, it's a heavy car, the steering's not very light, and hopefully I didn't clip any cones, doesn't look like it, but I don't expect a very quick time. But yeah, in terms of effort, full effort. Not the most entertaining around the slalom for sure. So 0-40-0 in the Wrangler, and it should be good because it's got these nice blocky chunky tires. We've put it into 4H auto as with every other test. Put it into D as with every other test for this car, and we've switched off the traction control and ESP. So nice petrol engine, decent gearbox. Let's see what it can do. Of course, I won't have the time when we stop, but it should still be fun. Let's go. All right. So, it was quick, most certainly, but it just made such a racket when the ABS came on. It just like so much noise. I thought the accelerator was still on. Maybe I pressed it while I was getting on the brake with the left foot. I don't know, but just a lot of noise, and which took me a little by surprise. But and given the distance, I think it's taken longer than I thought it would. But yeah, I guess we'll know the figures when we do, and we'll tell you that in a bit.
With the Wrangler done, let's move on to something similar but a little smaller in scale, the Mahindra Thar. Now the Mahindra Thar, it's without doubt India's most popular off-roader, and it's been flying off the shelves since it was launched, and not without reason. It's got the quintessential Jeep design, it's loaded with features now. You get a petrol and a diesel engine to choose from, and automatic gearboxes as well. But apart from that, the new Thar is a lot more friendlier to use in town. And Mahindra says that the Thar can also be your only car. What we have here is the diesel manual. So the M-Hawk engine makes a very impressive 130 bhp and 300 Newton meters of torque. And transferring all that power to all four wheels is a 6-speed manual gearbox. Getting to the 4x4 stuff, the Thar is relatively old school with a manual shift 4x4 transfer case. You also get a low ratio mechanical locking differential on the rear axle along with brake locking differential. So it's definitely got the hardware, but will its new friendly nature make it any less of an off-roader? Let's check with Vikrant.
Now we're in the Thar, and if I had to pick one as my favorite to do well at the Gymkhana, I think it would be this. It's got a small wheelbase, it's got a small size, so maneuverability shouldn't be a problem. It's got big wheels, it's got nice suspension, it'll got nice grippy tires for off-road. So, and it's willing to take abuse, which means I don't really have to ginger it like the monocoque SUVs. So I think this has probably the best chance of clocking the fastest time. But let's see. Surprises always throw up, and I love the diesel engine and the manual gearbox on this one as well. It doesn't have a smart 4x4, which means when I shift it to 4 high, I think it's equal power distribution in both front and rear, which means maybe steering and turning circle might be a little trouble, but let's see how that goes. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, let's go. All right, excellent. All right, this one's like unbelievably good. I mean, you can abuse the hell out of it and it just goes unbelievable. Now this is where we're gonna do the hill hold and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Will it go? No. Yeah. So I guess even though it's shortened wheelbase, it didn't still go through it in one go. It's a little surprising, but this is where the fast section, I think it's unbelievable how good it is through all of this, and you don't really have to slow down for anything. Just nothing hits, nothing breaks. Whoa, I missed the shortcut. Got it just in time. All right, all right, all right, excellent. Maybe I did hit something. I don't know what I hit. I hope I haven't. All right, this is also easy peasy. I think everything makes it really easy. You're not really looking for problems. You're not, I mean, looking for whether the road is good, bad, ugly. You just go. And now it's the fast section. Again, good diesel engine, lots of grunt. I'll make up enough and more time here and stop. Yep, here we are. Right. I don't know what I touched, but I did scrape something through the shortcut. I don't know, I guess I went through it a little too fast than I should have, but I guess with its clearance, etc., I thought it'd do it, but we'll just see what it was. But overall, I think it was lovely. It was really quick. It felt good everywhere. Loved it to Gymkhana. You can drive it fast. You can drive it through bad road. Good fun. I immediately see some challenges. Firstly, of course, is the steering. Turns lock to lock. It's got over 3 turns lock to lock, which means it's going to be, again, a lot of wrestling. And it's got a 50-50 split, which means steering will get heavy, and of course the turning circle will go. So yeah, I mean it's going to be challenging. It's not going to be a lot of fun, but in the name of science, here we go. As expected, Thar was a big challenge. I mean, we couldn't get the speed up. I couldn't get close to the cones. I maybe have clipped a couple of cones, maybe, I don't know. And of course, turning it around was a challenge. So it's, no, I think 50-50 split, slow steering, that just doesn't work, wasn't fun at all. Now, the Thar, this is the diesel, manual. It's a good engine, it's a pokey engine, powerful engine, and we're going to do 0-40-0. So I think it should register a really quick time. It's got these grippy tires, the C8, so they should dig in really well. We've also switched off or tried to switch off the ESP. I don't know whether it goes off or not. So let's see how the run is. All right. So it was okay. I think it came to a stop slightly sideways, but not too much, just very, very little. The tires dug in well. I think it's a diesel, so it took its time revving and getting there, but I think a nice pokey. I think we've covered not a lot of distance, so I think it should have registered a good time. We'll see.
Up next is India's most popular pickup, the Isuzu D-Max V-Cross. Now, the Isuzu D-Max in its latest avatar, it gets a 1.9 litre diesel engine as compared to earlier, which was the 2.5 litre engine. On the horsepower front, you get 165 bhp and 360 Newton meters of torque. Gearbox options, you have a 6-speed automatic or what we're driving here, the 6-speed manual. And to help you reach difficult locations, the V-Cross gets a shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive system along with 4 high and 4 low modes.
Okay, the V-Cross now. And in our first off-road day, it was our off-road day champ. Very capable off-road, no doubt about that. We've seen that really tough situations. I think the V-Cross does really well. Now in this Gymkhana event, I'm not so sure because A, it's really long. It's got a long wheelbase. And unlike the car that we had in the first off-road day, this one's running road tires. Those were more mud terrain sort of tires, and therefore there was a lot of grip. Here that's not there. And I think around the tight sections, maybe the length will be a problem, but let's see how that goes. 1, 2, 2, 3, go. All right, so I know it's got like hard rocks, but it's just got that sort of hardcore ability to it that you can drive fast. And this is where I think it's going to be a real challenge, because I gotta yeah, figured as much. It's gonna struggle, and then now I think the length's gonna be a problem. Yep, which means backing it up. All right, so I think that's probably this one too, tight again, and again the length, and I think it's just very basic 4x4, the regular, so I think it's a even distribution. So your steering also, I mean, it's got a much wider turn now as a result. But through all of this, I think it just goes, oh, we're gonna take the shortcut on this one, yeah! Let's see how that goes. I don't know, it's gonna touch maybe somewhere, but let's see. Oh, yeah, that did it. All right. You don't want to clip a cone and give it unnecessary penalty for time. Good. Yeah. Well, this was easy peasy for the V-Cross, because, well, if the monocoque SUVs can do it, then of course the V-Cross can. Again, I think it's the size of the thing that makes it so difficult. Now, this is the fast section. I don't know how that will go, but let's see. There's no truck coming, and that's a lap of the V-Cross around our Gymkhana. The V-Cross, a star really when it comes to off-roading, but I think in this technical thing where your cones are so close and you have such a long car and not the quickest steering, more than 3 turns lock to lock. So yeah, I think the slalom runs are gonna build my biceps at the end of the day. Just don't crack anything. I have set it on 4 high, so at least I don't have to bother with the gear shifts of the clutch, so that's one savior. It's just the steering for me. All right, now Venkat will flag me on. Oh my God, this steering just gets heavy. Oh, as you put in more and more gas, the steering just gets heavier, and I can't really see if I'm clipping the cones at the back because I can't really see them. Well, that's told you right at the start. I am struggling with the reverse on the Isuzu, and that continues. This is not on purpose, people. This is not on purpose, people. It's just, I just can't get out. And the more I gas it, my God, the more it is, the harder it gets to steer it. I wouldn't want to get caught with a Bond villain behind me among trees. Sorry about that. So yeah, do I have to say more? No. Extremely. I don't know what to say, but this was exhausting, really. Not something what it's meant for. Yeah, okay. So we're in the Isuzu V-Cross now, and after the, what should I say, comedy of errors that happened in during the slalom run, I think I'm going to first check whether it's actually gone into first or not. It has, so that's good. Now, it's a simple machine, but it's a heavy machine. And there is no ESP, no traction control, none of that. So you just shift to 4 high and go for it. And let's see what happens. And here we go. All right. All right. So Lutz of wheel spin off the line. Maybe we'd want to launch it a little slowly. I think it's got road tires, so it's just kept spinning, getting off the line. And yeah, so we've come to a stop. Like, we've used up all the road that was there in terms of acceleration and then stopping. Braking was okay, I think, but it's the time it took and the distance it took to get to 40. That was what has landed the Isuzu V-Cross here. I think better tires would have made a big difference, because it just kept spinning, and that's where we lost that.
Up next is an SUV that really surprised us in one of our earlier off-road days, and now in its latest avatar, the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan. Now, the Tiguan might not be similar to some of the old school tough as nails SUVs that we have here in the mix, but what the Tiguan is smart. Now, it might not use brute force to plow through the obstacles, but what it uses instead is electronics. The new Tiguan here is also now armed with petrol power. 2-litre TSI engine making 187 bhp and 320 Newton meters of torque. Now that is some serious grunt. And transferring all that power to all four wheels is a 7-speed DSG gearbox. To tackle the off-road stuff, the Tiguan gets 4-motion, which distributes power between the front and rear wheels depending on the situation. And you get to choose between off-road, off-road individual and snow modes.
So we're starting with the Tiguan first, and it is one of the only 2 monocoque SUVs that we have here. Now it might seem like they are out of their depth when it comes to off-road day, but that's not the case. We've seen with the previous Tiguan, when we had it on the off-road day, very smart electronics, and it managed to do everything. The only thing where it got stuck was the hill climb, because it had like huge rocks and the front lip was touching everywhere. But this in our so-called Gymkhana, it's a mix of fast, little technical, hill climb, etc. I think the Tiguan should do well. I don't think it's going to be able to take the shortcut, so we'll avoid that. But otherwise, I think it should do well. So let's see how that goes. First, shift to off-road mode, and now we're ready to go. All right, here we are. Now hard braking into the left. Let's see how that does. All right. Now this is slightly broken. You've got sharp rocks, so got to take it a little easy. It doesn't have the clearance. It doesn't have off-road tires. It's got road bias tires, and I think you want to save that even when you're off-roading. So you got to be a little careful about that. Now this one's going to be interesting. What's coming up next? It's a hill climb. It's a short hill climb, but we're going to do is stop in the middle of the hill climb, just about where the yellow cones are, and then Bilal's going to give me a count of 5, and then so he'll hold us there. Yeah, of course the road bias tires are finding it a little difficult to get through, and we need to back up a little, but I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought. On the tight right, we go through the gravel a little bit. Again, clearance is something that is a little problem, so you don't want to excessively do it. Just got to be very, very careful with it. This one too. You want to take a line that's a little on the side, and then because it's going to slip and slide there. It's catching traction, but it's beautifully intelligent, this, and that makes it really easy. Now this is of course the fast section, and here's where I think the Tiguan should make up time. Yep, but this is again a really tight left. Gets the wheel in the air mostly, but let's see how that goes. This one now. Now this is whatever, the banked angle. You don't want to clip the cone. You want to see the one wheel's in the air. You want to see how it goes. Avoid it. And this one here can be a little challenging. It's our unpaved. It's slightly bumpy. I know you can hear it. There it's struggling a little. Again, it's the tires mainly, I think, but the electronics make a big difference. And now again, we're back to that fast section and then down to the main straight. And here we go. Let's see what timing it does. Sip, sliding a little. Yep. We've got that. All right. There we go. And across the line. I think I might have gone beyond the stopping distance, but we'll get a negative marking for that, so that's fine. All right. That was the Tiguan for you. This is the test where monocoque SUVs should ideally excel because they're lighter, they have a smart off-road bias system which delivers power to the front only when it really needs. It's not 50-50, so you don't have that understeering problem that you will have with a conventional 4x4 50-50 split system. So that is good. It's also not very long, and given how tight our slalom course is, I think it should bode well. The only thing that I'm slightly concerned about is the steering. Of course, it's 2.5 turns lock to lock, which is still very quick. And if you were to compare it to other, ladder on frame SUVs, of course, those are a lot more. But let's see how it does. And I'm quite hopeful, and I think I should have fun. Now we should be okay to go. Off-road mode on. Yep. All right, so it's the ESP is kicking in a bit, but it's super smooth, super quick. It is extremely quick. Just watch this cone to it. Yep. So it feels light and nimble, and you can carry tremendous amount of speed because the ESP is constantly correcting and helping you because you're using a lot of turns lock to lock. But wow, how fast is that? Wow. I think it was really quick. It was fun. It was not hard work at all. It's like the car is pulling you in with the ESP, bringing you back in. So you're not like fighting at the car's going there and you bring it back. It just stays very true. And I think if you like driving fast on gravel, this was beautiful. Just get on the gas, then get on the brake. We're trying to see 0 to 40 and then 40 to 0, so 0, 40, 0. How quickly and in how short a distance can the cars manage it. So there's nothing much that I can really add, but what I expect the Tiguan to do is to blaze through this time because, well, it's petrol, it's I've turned the ESP off, the TC's off, so it should be able to grip in and go. Let's see how it does. 1, 2, 3, off we go. All right, I mean, it's very quick. 0, 40, 0. I think maybe I might have gone past 40 before braking. I'm not sure. So sure. We'll probably look at the VBox, but yeah, very quick as expected.
Up next, making its debut at the Carwale Off-Road Day is the all-new Skoda Kodiaq. Now the Kodiaq, it might look like a big luxurious SUV made to haul the corporate kind, but make no mistake, it's just as comfortable getting its boots dirty. The engine and gearbox options are the same as its brother from another mother, the Tiguan. So you get the same 187 bhp, 320 Newton meters of torque and the 7-speed twin-clutch gearbox. And similar to the Tiguan, you get driving modes here as well, along with traction modes. On the 4x4 front, the Kodiaq gets an interaxle, electronically controlled multi-plate clutch. The coupling of the rear axle is automatic, so under normal conditions, the car can utilize the advantages of a front-wheel drive, and under extreme conditions, the excellent traction of 4x4 drive.
Now we've got the Kodiaq. So much like the Tiguan, it's a monocoque SUV and it shares almost everything with the Tiguan. So it's got similar electronics, similar mind working towards it, and you've got an off-road mode which we've shifted to. And I don't think it's going to set a lap record or anything on our Gymkhana event, mainly on account of, I think, the tires, because the tires are road specific tires, and we've got some sections where you've got these really sharp rocks and you don't really want to go fast through that. And of course it can't take the shortcut because it just doesn't have the clearance. So let's see how the Kodiaq does, though I'm banking a lot on smart electronics that the car has. All right, here we are. Brake hard, turn left. Excellent. All right, now this is where the stones are really sharp, and this is where I think the Kodiaq's going to lose a lot of time, because it runs these MRF 18-inch road-specific tires, and you don't really want to crack them, burst them by hitting them. All right, now there's a hill climb. Stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go. All right. There you go. There you go. Lots and lots of wheel spin. Ooh, that dipped. So that's the challenge with the Kodiaq. It is slightly long and you've got road tires, so slips and slides. All right. Now this is another tricky section because you don't have the clearance, so you want to go as wide so that you don't hit the car. It still slips the rear, yeah, but it manages, yeah. That's the shortcut which we can't take because we just don't have the clearance for it. This is the fast section for the Kodiaq. Let's see how it does. Yeah, all right. Tight left. And then going up to the articulated side thing. Don't want to keep the cone here. Want to take it right. Ooh, I think I got the bumper. Just a little. Sorry about that, Skoda. Touched the bumper there. Just didn't see it. This off-road thing is cutting in a little too much. It's auto braking for most part, and that I think is just making things difficult. When you want momentum, it's just braking. I don't know why that is, but okay, back to the fast section. Here we go. All right, want to avoid some rocks and brake. Took a little longer to brake. So yeah, that's that with the Kodiaq. I think two things really didn't work in the Kodiaq's favor. I don't know what the time's going to be like, but A, of course, is the tires. The tires, 18-inch tires, big tires, road-going tires, so you're very careful in the first section. And then through the undulating section, it just automatically was braking, which we didn't want. We wanted some momentum to go through it. I don't know why they did it. Maybe the hill hold kind of gets into play, or downhill assist for whatever reason. So, and it's a long car and we almost clipped the cone on the bank section, so but we didn't, so there's no negative marking there. But yeah, overall I think Kodiaq didn't do as well as I thought in the Gymkhana section. Yeah, so that's that. We're in the Kodiaq now, one of the two soft roaders, monocoque, which means I'm already sitting low, closer to the ground, and I've got a much tighter steering. 1, 2, just 2 turns lock to lock, so that should be a lot of fun, I think, and this is probably what Kodiaq 4x4 is meant for. A little bit of gravel, little bumps here and there. Let's see, and it's got a smart 4x4 system, right? So it's not 50-50 all the time, which should help going through these really tight set of cones. But yeah, I expect this to be fun and fast, unless my driving ability gets in the way. So I knocked a cone right at the start, and I guess I estimated that it's gonna like get off and have a very linear turn in, but I guess with the power going at the front on gravel, it just pulled me towards it, and so I knocked one cone out. So that's going to be some negative marking there, but otherwise I think it was quick, and the amount of dust that I threw up, clearly it was digging in. I don't know what the time is, but it felt really good. It was barely any effort, just 2 turns lock to lock steering, beautiful. Of course there was a little bit of understeer, but then you've got gravel and you've got power going on, or you know, the front axle and the rear axle. But it was lovely. I think it was as expected, and I think it should be a quick time, but I have been proven wrong before. So let's see what it did. Again, 0, 40, 0, and get on the gas, get on the brake when you hit 40. Should be simple. And I think the way these petrol engines in the VW group, they accelerate, and with this intelligent traction system or all-wheel drive system, it just digs in. So yeah, should be a quick run. Not much to say really till we see the results. So here we go. So launched it, of course, in off-road mode because that's what we're doing, and there's a bit of delay that comes in when you floor the throttle, so it takes a little while. And then I think it also, I thought the ABS would be more aggressive on gravel, which it isn't. So we traveled quite a bit. I don't know, I guess when we look at the numbers we'll know, but it felt like it went for a little longer than I thought it would.
So we're finally done with the day, and we have some very interesting results to share with you.
That's true, and it's this off-road day has turned out to be more like a 4H off-road day than a 4L, which is what we've been doing over the years. I guess with no slush and a different location, it really completely changed the results of what we had.
Right, all right. So we won't keep you all waiting. Let's start with the cars first, and let's start with this, the Wrangler. As we can see, it's in its element right here. So how did the Wrangler do?
All right, so we did 3 tests. We did the Slalom, and we in Slalom, I mean, it's a big car, right? So, and it's got a really slow steering. Not really slow, but slow. So lots of work, and we decided to make a tight Slalom. So it was a lot of work, and surprisingly, it was not very fast. I have the results, so let me just read it out so I don't goof up. So the Wrangler, it finished 3rd overall. So, but the good thing was that among the big burly SUVs that we have here, it was the best. So even though it was heavy and slow, that was what happened in the Slalom run.
All right, that's interesting. And what about the 0 to 40 to 0?
So petrol, look at those tires, nice blocky thing. Off-road, dirt, we thought it's going to just shoot off and stop in a jiffy. That didn't happen. It accelerated all right, but it was the stopping distance that really got the time up. So it was one of the, should I say, slowest, or took the most amount of time to come to a stop. And overall, it was 4th in a 0-40-0. So not a good result. I really expected
not a great result.
Yeah, I expect to do better.
All right, okay. What about the Ken block territory?
Gymkhana. So not surprisingly, or surprisingly, I know, it was the fastest. And it was the fastest, it was the easiest. It just made all of this, when we looked at it and we thought, oh, well, this will be China, that will be China. Nothing. It just went through all of it. Just so much articulation. You can see here.
Those tires and that
everything.
Travel, that suspension
so the
travel.
fastest by far.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Brilliant. And how did it do in our surprise test? That you'll have to continue to watch right till the end. Right?
All right. Wrangler done. Let's
Wrangler
move to the next car. And let's move to India's favorite off-roader, the Mahindra Thar.
Yeah.
So what were the Thar's results like?
Thar, very impressive again. I think Slalom is something that all these ladder on frame SUVs were going to find pretty challenging, right? But so you, again, not one of the quickest steering, so a lot of work. But if I look at the results, and it tells me that it did the Slalom, it was just a little slower than that. So
Bad.
yeah. But you have to see that it's much smaller, right? But
Right.
not the result that I expected in Slalom. And I think you can read the numbers here. We'll have the exact numbers for you.
Right.
So that's there. But the really impressive bit was the 0-40-0, right? Yes, diesel, manual.
Right.
And yeah, slightly off-roadish tires, but wasn't expecting a lot. But it was the second quickest in the 0-40-0. Which,
That's not too shabby at
yeah,
all.
yeah. I mean, and we've got like road-focused SUVs
Right,
here. We've
right.
got dynamic SUVs.
Right.
So that was like really, really
And
surprising.
what about this holy shrine here, the Gymkhana? How did it do?
Second fastest.
Wow.
Again, brilliantly impressive.
Wow.
Just like that. And this is small. It feels hardy. You can show it anything. You can just gas it, go through it. It'll go up, it'll come down, lands nicely. Very impressive again. I mean, we really didn't struggle. Hill hold works. We had that slippery section going up.
Right.
And everything we threw at it, again, it took the shortcut, which of course helped with its timing. So really, really good.
So not
Yeah.
it's popular not without a reason, huh?
Yeah, and if you choose to do hardcore or what we've done, which is not that hardcore, 4H as we're calling it,
Right.
still pretty good.
All right, let's move to the biggest car in the bunch.
Yeah.
The Isuzu.
Okay, let me just look at the time. So the Isuzu. And now, a few things I think about the V-Cross. It was our pick of the lot when we did the last off-road day, right? It was slushy. It had really blocky tires. Really helped. The
Right.
whole thing. Here, not so much.
These are stock tires. It's running.
These are stock tires. They're HT tires, not even 80 tires, right?
Right.
And I think the more challenging the surface gets, that's when it shines. You give it something fast, and it struggles. Like it's heavy, the weight,
Right.
everything.
Right.
And that showed in slalom. The length. I was clipping cones. I killed a couple of cones because I didn't know how long it is, and you're fighting constantly.
Poor cones.
Yeah. So if I look at the times, yes, it was by far the slowest. Yeah.
I think the size plays against it.
And again, steering is also
Right.
the other thing, and I'm sure viewers must have seen that. If you saw during the slalom that the car refused to go ahead and kept jerking back after we turned around, that was because we just could not find
Reverse.
reverse to first to reverse. Constant confusion, so yeah.
Yes.
But like I said, it's a great off-roader when things are really challenging.
Right.
You give it something, I shouldn't say easy, but something less tricky, and chinks start to show.
Right. So this is just for the hardcore off-road
Absolutely,
enthusiasts.
absolutely. And they'll be super happy with it.
Great. What about the Gymkhana? How did it fare at the Gymkhana?
Gymkhana, it was, I think, again, one of the slowest. But not by much. And it did take the shortcut, which is what is surprising, right?
Right.
So the monocoque SUVs had to go all
The way
around.
around,
These
right.
ones just went through this, and you know,
Right.
but even then, it was the slowest. And again, I think it's the length through that hill climb,
Right.
the tires,
Right.
and yeah. And we did everything in 4H.
Right.
We didn't use low range at all.
Right.
So that was that. And again, 0-40-0 took the longest to go. Surprisingly, didn't take as long to stop, which is very surprising because when it felt, it took the longest distance.
Right,
Because it took all
right.
the time to accelerate and get there.
Right.
Braking wise, it was pretty impressive.
So it was because of the acceleration that took time that the distance.
Yeah, we
increased.
almost ran out of our
Right.
set road.
Right.
That was scary.
Well, so that's that. Isuzu enthusiasts, don't be disheartened.
Not at
It's
all.
not a bad car at all. It's for the serious off-road enthusiasts.
And I'd take it any day, especially when things get really difficult.
So would I. All right, next, let's move to the next car. Now we move on to the soft roaders of the bunch, but not with any less capability. Let's start with the new Skoda Kodiaq.
Yeah. We were expecting it to do well, especially given the kind of flat surfaces. Slalom, again, very quick. The only thing in slalom was that because it's an intelligent system, it kicks in. The moment we got on the gas hard off the box, it just understeered rather than pulling right. so we knocked the first cone.
Right, that power understeer, we saw you knocking the first cone off. Right, right.
But then I think it was okay. It was way more manageable than the other three that we've just spoken about. Right. You could turn, you could run really close to the cones. You didn't have to brake, nothing.
And so monocoques have that ability,
absolutely.
Right? It just feels good, easy to maneuver.
Comfort also. The moment you sit inside, everything is light, everything is right, so it pampers you. That is good. So, and timing-wise, it was the second fastest. Not surprising.
Not surprising.
Yeah. 0-40, stopping distance was a little longer than we expected. I don't know why
is
that
because of the ABS?
Probably the tires or the grip, I don't know. But we were expecting it to stop in a much shorter distance, which didn't happen. But overall, the 0-40 wasn't bad. But it wasn't as impressive as I imagined, especially flat, right? And off-road mode, all of that.
Right.
So that was that.
All right, and how about here at the Gymkhana?
Gymkhana, of course, no shortcuts for this, so the longer route. But along the longer route, you could carry a lot of speed because it felt well balanced and all that. So worked, and not, as you can see, not a lot of articulation. So when we went through the bank section, it would, the traction control would cut in, and so you lose some momentum. Going that slight downhill that we had, in off-road mode, it picks up hill descent on its own. When you don't want it, it's not that steep. You want some momentum, and it suddenly breaks. So that kind of thing happened on this. But I think timing-wise, it was probably the second fastest. No, I mean Wrangler fastest, then the Thar, and yeah, so it was fourth. Faster than this, but slower.
Right, we have to take into account the limited travel and
the longer route. Absolutely.
Right.
And the challenges through the hill climb, because absolutely road spec 18-inch tires.
True. Right. Plus, we also had to preserve the car. We couldn't just go through it.
Yeah. Soft roaders, you gotta be careful. You don't, with these cars, you hit them a little, it's all frame underneath, right? So you can be a little more, maybe abusive is the wrong word, but that's what you can be. But with these, you gotta pamper them. They're just like cars. Just very like supercars in a different sense, in an off-road sense. Yeah.
All right.
Finally.
Kodiaq done. Let's move to its brother from another mother, the Volkswagen Tiguan. So the Tiguan, it's not new to our Carwale Off-Road.
Not at all.
We've had the earlier one before, but that was a diesel. This is the 2-liter petrol.
Yes.
So how was it in the tests?
When we did it last time, when it was really challenging, it did everything, all thanks to smart electronics.
Right.
The only thing it couldn't do was that rocky hill climb.
Yes.
Because of this.
The ground clearance.
We didn't have that problem here. When we took it onto the Slalom, the fastest. When we took it 0-40, the fastest. So everything we threw at it. The Gymkhana, the fastest. No. Sorry, what am I saying? Not the fastest. I got slightly confused. Faster than the other monocoque. Here, Gymkhana, because again, no shortcuts.
So between the soft roader, it was the fastest.
Absolutely. It's fastest in so many things, you get carried away. But very impressive. I know it's not posing in a great way, because I guess it doesn't need to. It's an understated car.
Right.
But a very capable off-road car as well. But again, 4H, not 4L. More difficulty.
4L, we'd have a completely different story to tell, right?
Absolutely. I wouldn't even attempt taking it on. Right. But
So
overall,
I think Volkswagen did a great job with the petrol, I guess. So it's
yeah, absolutely. You don't miss the torque, nothing. It's there when you want it, on demand. Right.
Great.
Just like the Kodiaq. Awesome. You have no real complaints.
Awesome. So that was it. That was all the cars that participated this year at the Carwale Off-Road Day. We hope you loved the video. Do like, share and comment on the videos, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But
you remembered. That's very good. You must have.
I did. But before we end this video, you remember I spoke about that funny test that we had lined up for you. Do make sure
funny but informative.
It's
so
scientific.
You don't want to miss it.
It's scientific.
It's scientific. Absolutely, it's scientific.
It's our scientific funny test that you do not want to miss, and that's coming up next. But we shall see you next time at the next Carwale Off-Road Day. Stay tuned and thank you.
Thank you for watching. Bilal, Mahindra Thar.
Yep.
We're gonna do the Beaker test. How wet are you gonna get?
I'm not carrying any spare jeans, so I hopefully not much.
Yeah, but what do you think? I mean, you've seen the Thar,
Spend time with it, yeah.
yeah, and gone around. It's slightly bumpy, not very bumpy. We're gonna do 20 kilometers an hour. We're gonna hold it there.
So I'm having high hopes for the Thar
Because
because
it's gonna be flat.
more or less, yes.
All right. Thank you. All right.
So
We've got 500 enough, and we'll see how much is left when we come back.
got it.
Yep. The glass. It should be fun.
And off we
Alright,
go.
Get to 20. We're at 20. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's getting bumpier now.
Alright, yeah, it is. Okay,
This is
Thar clearly isn't doing as well as Bilal had imagined. Well, and guess what? This is the first car, so clearly, Bilal, you're gonna go home with wet trousers. I know what excuse you're gonna give, but alright, we've got the return journey. Still more water to go. 20 kilometers per hour, here we are. Alright. Now
it's getting worse now.
well, Thar doesn't feel like it's bouncing around so much, clearly. but-
Exactly. But
But I guess that's why the Beaker test actually helps her out. Tells you that there is so much more movement happening. Alright. We've got one wet Bilal. Quite a bit, huh? So you'll give us the figure what it is.
Yeah.
We'll tell our viewers later all together. So that's that. Now let's jump into the next car. So Bilal, Thar gave you a nice soaking. Clearly, your jeans are reasonably wet now.
And
Wrangler,
yeah,
similar to the Thar in terms of hardware.
but it's got better articulation on the suspension.
True.
And
So you think Wrangler's going to save you from getting totally wet and reaching home? Here we go.
yeah, let's go.
20 kilometers an hour in the Wrangler.
Oh, it
On
started
20.
already. It's pouring already.
Now you're wearing my pants, dude. Come on. All right. So 20. How is that? That's, I don't know.
It doesn't feel that the
Yeah,
car's moving so much,
Exactly.
but it's spilling more than the Thar.
car's riding really flat.
Yeah.
I can
And-
see you're. I mean, the water's coming. It's gone to the
It's
cup
gone.
holders. It's gone straight here. All right. Let's see if it's any different on the way back.
Oh, it's getting worse.
It doesn't look like the road's that bad.
And I'm
I'm
holding it
surprised.
perfectly still.
Wow,
Oh.
yeah, all right. All right.
It's twice the size. The size gone down. That's
we
twice.
had a very interesting run. We couldn't feel that the car moved. The water just kept coming, Look at him. Looks like he wet the seats of the Thar.
Thar.
Now he-
And his pants as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow, there's a lot of splash area.
All right, so we'll see how much went off.
Yeah,
and
I'll let you know.
tell later. All right. Now, next car, and this is, we're going to do the Isuzu now. So we thought we'd wrap up the 3 ladder on frame proper SUVs
Proper SUVs,
first,
yeah.
and then see what the softies hold in store for us. All right. All right, Bilal. So, Thar, Wrangler.
Wrangler.
Your hopes with the Wrangler were more. Didn't work out. A little bit different this one. The Isuzu V-Cross.
It's already quite roly-poly. And
Yes, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see a surprise. It's got leaf spring setup at the back, so maybe I don't know. Those were your solid axles at the back.
Hello.
Hello. So maybe it'll make a difference. I don't know, but it's only one way to find out.
so will it be better than the Thar or?
I don't know. I mean, I drive a leaf spring Bolero, but I've got leaf spring front and rear, so I really don't know. But that's why we're here, to find out what makes a better setup.
And I'm already wet, so it doesn't matter anymore now.
Of course it does. It's always hilarious to see somebody get wet. All right, hitting 20 now.
Yeah. Okay.
20, excellent.
The splashes are bigger.
All right, so we've got a leaf spring Isuzu.
Yeah.
It's not loaded at the back, so clearly there's some amount of kicking. But I feel it's not. When you're not
It doesn't feel like you're rolling so much.
exactly, not as much as. No, I mean,
But-
again.
That has been the case with all three cars.
Yeah, but the Wrangler, I mean, surprisingly, I still can't get over it. But yeah, that it felt like it was stable, but it was spilling water. Now this one, of course, feels like it's moving. And it's long. How many? All right. And we're seeing some splashes of water. Not too much, right?
Not too much
Yeah, that's
compared to the Wrangler, but can get worse from now.
Let's see. On the way back. No man, I thought I'd have more fun with this. But you'll get completely drenched going back.
There's
This
one
is
bad
like-
section coming up ahead, and
Yeah, that's more like it. Good one. That's more like it. All right.
okay.
So I don't know. Yeah, we got pretty wet now. That's good.
You have a change of clothes, right?
I don't know man anymore.
I think he'll wrap soon. So I think leaf spring, coil spring, solid axle or not. I guess we'll find out which was the one that spilled the most and which was the one that spilled the least. All right. Good. I hope you had fun getting all
Very.
drenched.
Thank you so much.
So in case you're wondering why do we have Venkat here instead of Bilal, well, Bilal just couldn't take any more of the soaking. So yeah, you want to be brave now?
Yeah, I'm taking over from Bilal
Yeah.
for this honorable duty.
So do you feel that there'll be less water spilled on you given that now we're on monocoque cars?
What happened to Bilal?
Well, he couldn't take the soaking anymore, clearly.
Best of luck, man.
All right. So let's get in off-road mode. Let's get to 20 kilometers per hour. Let's see what awaits. All right, we're on 20.
Holy God.
It's holding well, man. Not bad.
No, it's still, I think it will perform better. Oh wait, you have to come back also, right?
Yeah, that's where it gets really challenging towards the end because you've got these like mild axle breakers, and that's what we saw in the Isuzu with the leaf spring and no load at the back. But this one's riding pretty flat. And I think there's very little water that's coming out. So
Spilled
good
there.
for you. I don't think Bilal's going to be very happy to find out that you chose more stable cars. Yeah, man, it's pretty flat.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming to the mild axle breaker section. Wow, not too bad at all. Guess it pays to have a monocoque SUV if you're looking for comfort.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, barely anything.
It's
Excellent. Venkat hasn't been baptized that well. Maybe Tiguan, what's
Kodiaq.
that? Kodiaq will change that. Let's see, let's find out. So Venkat, you chose well. You predicted well. The Tiguan was pretty flat.
Flat,
right?
yeah.
We'll know how much it lost later on. And Kodiaq, similar car?
but it has what is that thing called active ride?
Yeah,
Technology.
adaptive dampers.
Adaptive.
Yeah.
So that I guess that should work even more.
I don't know. Maybe
Huh.
it'll be worse. I don't know. I mean, because these
No, I
surfaces are unpredictable.
say that as an added advantage for the
maybe.
Beaker.
All right, let's see.
Huh.
Thank you. Thank you, Sid. Elbows locked in.
Yes.
Shall we go?
Yes.
All right.
Kodiaq, 20 kilometers an hour. Here we go. Are we losing more already?
I know it's on roughly
Seems
on.
pretty flat, yeah.
It's roughly on par only.
Yep. I mean, I guess 20 is a good speed for this car on this surface for some reason. It doesn't, you know, with the other ones, the bigger ones.
Yeah,
you
they start to get jittery, right?
Yeah, I mean, you need more force to work for them to ride better, right? You need
Yeah,
either really bad surface or you need to 21st. Okay. Yeah, so you need some force to.
You need load also,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Not these I think are designed for this, but yeah. I'm equally impressed with this as I was with the Tiguan. Yeah,
It's lost more. It's lost more.
Finally, you managed to wet your pants. Something for Bilal to cherish. You've got a wet wanker.
So, did the DCC help?
I don't know. I think, yeah, it didn't do as well as the Tiguan through that particular section. I don't know
Okay,
why
let's
that
test
was.
it out.
Yeah.